Alright guys, it's been a few weeks since Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 dropped, and I think it has done the impossible, man. This game has brought my joy back.
Man, I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
Alright, what is up everyone? I hope you're all having a great day today. I just wanted to come at you with a Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 review. Why am I waving my hand like Eminem in a rap battle? I don't know. But anyways, I haven't loved a game this much since probably Cyberpunk 2077 back in 2020. So yeah, this game is definitely one of the best games I've ever played, probably. And I didn't think I'd say that at the beginning of playing this game. I never played Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, so I had no prior experience in the game. This is pretty much a blind playthrough. And the prologue to me was a little bit slow. It took a while for me to get into the game, but once I passed the prologue, once I was out of the little hut with the granny, dude, the game opened up like crazy, and man, it just fucking was history from there. What a game, and I'm going to talk about it here tonight with you guys. Alright, so I wanted to begin with the positives, which is going to be the majority of this video because there really isn't many negatives that this game had to offer. So I wanted to start right now with the graphics, man, because the graphics in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 are nothing short of beautiful. Now, I'm not going to tell you this is the greatest looking game ever, or you're going to be absolutely in awe when you're playing this game, because it's not quite that level, but they are great, especially when you take into the fact that the game is absolutely massive. There are so many deep in-game mechanics, so many NPCs, and they all have their own little routes and lives, so it must have been crazy programming this game and trying to make the gameplay work with the graphics as well. I mean, as you can see on screen, like the graphics and visuals are fantastic. The lighting is especially great in this game. Apologies for my frame rate in the video in the capture because for whatever reason, when OBS captures my gameplay, it looks like shit, especially in terms of the frame rate for some reason. Even though I'm playing on ultra settings and I'm getting 120 plus frames constantly, it still looks like shit. I don't know. I can't really explain it. If someone has an explanation, leave it in the comments below so I can fix that. But yeah, anyway, man, as you can see, the graphics are downright gorgeous. You will not get tired of looking at this game, that's for sure. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, the bread and butter of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and that is the gameplay, man. This is going to be a long segment because there's just so much to talk about, so bear with me in this, guys. So first up, I wanted to talk about the map. The map is very good, especially for a game this size with a budget that wasn't necessarily insane by the standards of AAA gaming. But yeah, you basically play in two regions. The first region is known as the Trotsky region, and that's where majority of the beginning part of the game is going to take place. And then as you kind of get to like the halfway point-ish, you go to a different region called Kuttenberg, and you could switch regions if by horse or carriage or whatever it is, if you want to go back to the next region or the previous one. And it's just great. The map is fantastic. There's plenty of cities and little towns to go to. The biggest city, Kuttenberg, in the Kuttenberg region is honestly excellent. There's so much to do. Once you actually get to the city, it kind of feels like a whole new game. Like you're exposed to so many new things, so many new shops, pieces of armor, weapons. And honestly, I was happy with the first region. I didn't even think we were going to get a second region. When we were in the first region, I was like, this is enough. Like I wasn't even like shocked that that's all it was. I thought that is exactly what I was going to get. And then the next region comes along and just blows it out of the water. So I cannot say enough good things about the map. I loved it. There's a ton of little things to discover around the map. So many Easter eggs. You could probably see them online if you want. You know, there are a ton of NPCs and random villages or random points of interest to go to, side quests. Yeah, man, there's no shortage of activities to do throughout the map. So I would say the map design is honestly top tier, especially for a game this size. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was the combat, dude. And I did not play Kingdom Come 1 like I told you guys before, so I had no experience with the sword fighting in this game. And it was a little bit of a learning curve, but once I got the hang of it, man, it felt like butter. Probably one of the most fun and intuitive combat systems I've played. I know if you watch gameplay, it doesn't look all that special, but it's different when you're actually in game and doing it. You know, generally the combat is pretty straightforward. All the mechanics are laid out well for you. If you need to, you could do sword fighting like practice with other NPCs. And FYI, at the beginning of the game, when it tells you to go see Tomcat to learn sword fighting, definitely go and do that because you learn techniques that you genuinely need to know to even be able to have a viable sword fighting character, or else you're just going to get your ass kicked all the time because you won't know how to do like master strikes or whatever. So definitely go do that if you in the beginning of the game, go do that immediately. It's one of the most important things to do. But yeah, like I said, the combat in this game is genuinely great, really fun. The stealth mechanics are good too. I wouldn't say that the stealth is anything special, but it's definitely useful and you could use it a lot in the game, especially when like stealing or you need to retrieve something but you don't want to have a fight with 6 different NPCs because they will swamp you. The one thing about this game is that no matter how good at the combat you are or how overpowered your character is, if there are numbers, you will usually die because it's just sheer numbers like in real life. You're not going to be able to overcome that. So that's just another great thing about the combat. You guys know if you've played the game, or if not, I'm telling you right now, combat is fantastic. And you know what else is fantastic? The RPG mechanics of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Now, these RPG mechanics are honestly some of the best I've ever played. I didn't even know games were capable of doing this stuff anymore. You know, the last game I seen that was even close to this is Skyrim back in the day, to be honest, where almost every NPC actually has a house and they go do things and they have a patrol or a route or, you know, chores that they do every single day in game. It's honestly nothing short of incredible. That's one of my favorite parts of the game is that every NPC, like down to the last one, has a job in the world. They usually have families. They go home and they sleep with their families. They wake up and they eat breakfast with their families and then they go to work. It's genuinely like you're in a simulation of that time period. And that is what I would actually describe this game as. It's legit a medieval simulation. Another thing you could do is quite literally steal from every NPC in the game. As far as I know, I have not seen an NPC that I have been not able to rob. Basically, you could rob any guard, you could rob any townsperson, you could rob a store owner. You could basically do whatever you want. Now, there are consequences for these actions, which is another thing I really like. Killing or stealing from people, if you get noticed or caught, puts you basically on a wanted system. And the wanted system is pretty hefty if you're like a master thief and you keep stealing and you keep getting caught. Your wanted bounty, I guess, goes up and up and up. You have to pay more and more fines. My fine right now in my game is like 56K. So like you just have to wait for your wanted level to go down or you're going to get screwed basically. And another thing about the thieving system is that if you get noticed or caught by, for example, a store owner, like let's say you stole from him or he saw you last in his store and you stole from his chest or you stole from him, if they know it was you, they will remember you. So you can't just leave and then come back and then he'll just be like, oh, everything's fine. You stole my stuff, but I'm still going to let you come in my store. They know it was you, so they will literally chase you out and try and call guards on you. And just the level of immersion in this game is unlike anything I've seen in so long. So kudos to Warhorse Studios because it must have took a ton of time to program this game to work how it does. And I just have nothing bad to say, basically. The whole system in terms of the NPCs and the robbery, thieving, killing, wanted system is just downright amazing. Another thing I thought wasn't really going to make a difference to me in my gameplay experience was the little mini games they have for stuff like smithing or alchemy. I thought this was kind of useless. I just wanted it to be over and done with. I wanted to be able to click a button, get my medicine or get my sword or my axe or whatever it may be. But it turns out that that stuff is actually very fun. I actually really enjoy the little mini game in terms of the smithing, especially. Alchemy, still I could do without. But in terms of smithing, it's genuinely fun. When you smith something that's hard to smith and you know you can't make many mistakes and you successfully do it, it actually has a rewarding feel to it. Something I really can't say for any other game. I never thought I would want to go be a smith in a video game and that it would actually be fun. So yeah, this game is just the immersion, like I said before, incredible. And another thing, the dice, the mini games. So if you've played The Witcher, you will know that Gwent is like one of the funnest mini games, and some people play Gwent more than they play the actual game. The same can be said here for the dice minigame. The dice minigame is genuinely so fun. I am becoming a gambling addict just from playing it. I can do this stuff legitimately all day. It's how I made money in the early game. And even in the late game, I don't even make a lot of money because I have so much, but I still play it just because of how fun it is. And that is just a testament to how many things there are to do in this game and how many things that you could actually enjoy and do for a long period of time. And another thing to note in terms of the RPG mechanics is just the amount of ways you can complete a quest. There's so many dialogue options and so many different choices that will drastically change the outcome of certain quests that it's honestly mind blowing, and it's choice and consequence that you really want out of an RPG that we haven't really gotten in a long time. I just wanted to talk about that quickly. You'll see when you play the game. I don't want to spoil much, but everything you do matters. Every choice you make can have a different consequence. You can completely avoid confrontations in some cases, or you might say something wrong, and then you have no choice but to have conflict. The options are endless. There's a ton of skill checks that you have to pass if you want to have certain dialogue options. So, you know, in terms of RPG mechanics, dude, this is definitely one of the best. You will love it if you were an RPG fan. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about was the story, main quest, and side quests as well. Now, I'm going to start with the side quests, and I'm just going to get it out of the way. The side quests are fantastic. There's no shortage of stuff to do. Most of the quests have a lot of variety and are unique. You're not usually doing the same thing twice, as it is with most games that come out nowadays. So I cannot recommend doing the side quests enough. I've probably sunk like 40 to 50 hours into just side content, and I'm not even done. There's still more to do, and I will be doing it. But as far as side content goes, this is one of the best there's ever been. Now, onto the main quest and the story. I'm going to tell you guys right now, the story is very enjoyable. It's very good. The characters are all likable. Like I said before, I didn't play Kingdom Come 1, so I had no bond with any of these characters, especially the guys you play as, which is Henry of Skalitz, and, your side main companion, Hans Capon. Didn't know anything about these guys, didn't know shit, didn't care about them at the beginning of the game, but it really didn't take long for me to, grow to love them and love these characters, and that's due in part to the writing and as well the voice acting. The voice acting in this game is honestly some of the best I've ever heard. Even from the supporting characters, they're also great. But Henry of Skalitz, incredible voice actor. I don't know the voice actor's name, but he's incredible. And Hans Capon as well. Both great. Both have amazing chemistry. You will definitely be entertained by this story. There's nothing to be mad about. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's, like Cyberpunk or RDR2 level, but the writing's great, and I have really no complaints. All right, guys, that is it for my positives about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I know there was a lot, and that's just because there's so many things this game does well. And I mean, I didn't really even touch on everything. I didn't touch on the customization. I didn't touch on the food or the hunger and the sleeping system. I just didn't want to make this video go on too long, so I kind of left those things out. They're kind of a given. They're definitely very good. But yeah, man, when this game first dropped, I didn't get to sink my teeth into it too much. But then I saw like people online, big YouTubers talking about how this was like the greatest game of all time, up there with like top 5, up there with Witcher 3, Cyberpunk, games like Skyrim were mentioned, which is my favorite game of all time. And I was a little bit skeptical. I was like, okay, like, it's good, but I don't think it's that good. But as soon as I got more deep into the game and I got a couple more hours in, man, I could confidently say Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is one of the best games I've ever played. For sure, top 10 for me. I don't know if that's recency bias, but I'm going to stick with it for now anyway. But the last thing I want to do is go over some negatives, and there really isn't much. Aside from, I would say, some bugs here and there, this game does have its fair share of bugs. One of the most annoying bugs, and I know this is nitpicky, but it's when you try and feed your dog in the game mutt. If there's a sloped surface, the food will roll and he won't go eat it until it stops. And I'm going to show a little example. You'll probably see it in the background of the video, but it's just so frustrating, and I actually want to blow my brains out when this happens. But I mean, other than that, and some frame rate drops here and there, the game is fucking great, and I honestly think it's flawless. You guys know what my opinion is if you watch the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys subscribe. That's it for me, guys. See ya.